the same time.
Good.
Hi!
All
How are
right.
you?
Good, thanks. You?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. How are you
Good.
getting on in quarantine?
Yeah, all right, to be fair. I'm a bit bored, but
Mm.
we've got the gym in the garden, you see, so it's like a blessing in disguise. It's so good.
Yeah. It's like, I think out of all of this and everyone that I've spoken to this week, the training aspect is like the hardest part. Everyone's kind of like, if we just had the gym and if the gym was open, this would be the perfect life.
Yeah, I think you don't realise how much you take it for granted and just doing day-to-day things without even realising. And obviously now, you're being restricted. It's
Yeah.
crazy how much things mean to you that you don't realise.
I know. You guys are, I think the UK is a little bit behind us.
Yeah.
We had the quarantine like a week or so before. So we're like,
Proper trouble.
I'm trying not to look at the newspapers or the media because it just puts like panic into you, just deal
Yeah.
with it day by day.
Yeah, but it reminds you that it's like serious as well, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's crazy. It feels like we're in a film.
it does. It does.
Yeah.
I never thought that I would experience like something like this,
Yeah.
that kind of way.
But you couldn't make it up, could you?
No, not at all. Not at all. But anyway, no more quarantine chat. Trying to forget about it for the minute. But what's going on with you? I mean, obviously, like not fighting at the moment because of everything that's going on. But I suppose just let's talk about like your career. Like, what a career.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all right, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, how old are you now?
26. I'm 27. Well, I don't know. 14th of April. So basically, I'm going to spend my birthday in quarantine. But
You'll have to
yeah,
celebrate twice next year.
yeah, that's it. I'll just have to have 2 days or 2 weeks as I celebrate my birthday for a whole week. Got it.
But you've had a career and like career highlights that
Yeah.
most people can only dream of. People are finishing their careers and they haven't even scratched the surface for what you have.
Yeah.
What is that like?
I think, when you're doing it, you don't realise. And then it's not until you reflect with people that I kind of realise how much I've done.
Yeah.
But I'm always grateful for every opportunity I'm given. And, it's just crazy to travel the world doing what I'm doing, but just to make friends along the way, Like, I've been to Ireland, I don't know, 4 or 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
And the people there, like, they're so nice. And I've got some real friends for life from Ireland.
Well, it's funny, because like Ireland is a very special place because even though obviously you're in the UK, there's certain fighters in particular that we kind of like take as our own. We really get attached to it. And you definitely are one of those that like the Irish people really have gotten behind.
Yeah, oh no, definitely. I think my first fight in Ireland was actually I can't remember. I know I was on Infusion and I was fighting a Dutch girl called Lorena Klein. And just even before at the weigh-ins and people were asking for pictures and just like everyone was just so buzzing. I can't wait to see you. And just the reception I got before, after, like, it was crazy. And then just ever since then, I've kept in touch with a few people. They've brought me over for seminars. I've sold loads of kit in Ireland. I'm always getting pictures, of people in my Pretty Killer shorts. Like, It's just crazy. It's just so nice.
Well, I can take a wild guess as to where your fight name Pretty Killer came from. But where was the official what was the official reason that you took that on as a fight name?
So when I was younger, growing up, obviously my dad's my trainer. And us as a family used to go to Thailand for like a family holiday and be training every day. There was me, my mom, my dad and my brother. And we used to go in the summer, so for 6 weeks. And we'd just go to Bangkok. And then I had my first fight in Thailand when I was 8. And then that's when my dad's trainer, Jitty, his name is, he was like, oh, she needs a fight name. And he named me the Soy Pacat, which translates as Pretty Killer. And so I just thought it was really cool. I was 8 years old. I was like, yeah. Just got it on the back of my shorts in Thai. I had 2 pairs. So I had one in Thai for when I fought in Thailand. And then, Pretty Killer on the back of my English shorts. And then it just stuck from there. It was always just on the back of my shorts. And then as I started fighting in different places, people would pick up that, and then it came from other people really just calling me it. And then I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that was there.
It's really good. It's perfect. It's so catchy, and it's so self-explanatory as well. It's really, really good. But when you look back to being 8 years old, like obviously because your mum fought before, didn't she? Like she's a champion as well herself, isn't she?
Yeah, she was British champion. Yeah.
Amazing. So when you look back, like, I mean, to be 8 years old and to be training and to be fighting, it's for someone that didn't grow up in that atmosphere. They're like, wow, that's incredible. How does an 8-year-old is even able to do that? But you obviously grew up in it and knew no difference, I imagine. Can you remember things from that time period? Like, do you remember being like, my family is different, or?
Not really. Obviously, I remember at school, you know, there was things I couldn't go to because I was training, or I was always, every weekend, we were always somewhere different around the country, always traveling. But I thought it was really cool because I had, like, my Thai boxing friends were around my age or a little bit older, and I just got to spend the weekend with them, and we'd travel and go to all these places and do interclubs, and you know, they go on for like all day as well, so I'd just be with my mates all day, so
yeah,
it was good. But then obviously in the summer holidays, everyone would go on their family holidays, and I'd be like, oh, I go to Thailand.
yeah.
And a lot of people, you know, go to places in England, to the beach, and I kind of thought it was a little bit different then, but I always used to be a big runner as well, so my Thai boxing complemented my running, and my running complemented my Thai boxing. So growing up, like, I was always into sport, but never had time to join in like the school teams or anything like that, because I'd always just be training. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I always remember like being young and just like remember watching the adults and just copying them, and that everyone just used to mess about with me, you know, because I was young, and that, you know, you always mess around with the kid in the corner, and that was me.
Absolutely. I mean, now that you're an adult and you've been doing this for so long, and it's very clear that you were born to do this. I mean, you're just so skilled at Thai boxing. Was there ever a moment where you look back and kind of didn't want to do it, or wanted to just have a normal life, or is it just that if it did come into your mind, it would just be temporary, and then you would just get back to training, back to winning, and it would go again?
I think I still have things like that now, you know, like it's just so hard being in training camp. At first you're like, yeah, I can't wait to fight. And then you get into training and it's okay. And then things start to get a bit harder. You still have to wake up every morning early and get it done. And then you become tired more throughout the week. And then, you know, muscles start to ache, and tension starts to build. Like it's so hard. And it's one of them things where when you're doing it, it's like you love it but you hate it, and then when you're not doing it, you love it so much. Like, it's just mad, you know. During a fight camp, I'm like, I can't wait for this to be over, have my week off, eat food, and then when I've got my week off, I'm like, oh, there's not much to do. It's just mad.
Would the wake up be the most the part of it that you dislike the most, or what would be the part that you dislike the most?
Yeah, definitely the wake up, but I think because I've been doing it a long time, I've kind of got that under wraps now. I know my body, I know what I should be eating, or I know like my portion. I think it's about portion sizes as well. And it's getting to know your own body. And like you say, like, I've been doing it a long time, and I think only the last couple of years I've kind of made it easier for myself. It's just like listening to your body and knowing what your body can take, because everyone is different.
Absolutely. What's been because there's been many, but what's been your career highlight so far? What stands out?
Oh, it's hard, isn't it? I always remember when I fought Alexis Rufus for the Infusion title. I always talk about that fight, but I sold 110 tickets, you know, and I'm from a small town, and it was just mad. 110 tickets, and everyone was in the O2 shouting my name, and it was just kind of like the big fight. You know, Alexis was coming towards the end of her career, and I was kind of, you know, just not at the beginning, but when people started to realise who I was, and then that's when stuff of mine became like on YouTube. And then, yeah, I just smashed it, obviously. And the same morning I signed my infusion contract.
Amazing.
Yeah. And that's just, yeah, where it took off, really, I suppose. But I always remember Kieran Keddle and Steve Semtex from London. You know, they were family friends always, but they gave me that opportunity, and I always remember it.
Oh, it's a good one to remember, right?
Yeah,
it's definitely a good highlight. But I mean, for like we're talking about all these achievements that you've you've excelled at over the years. Like, what's left? Like, when you look at goals, like, do you have to continually put a goal in place for yourself to keep yourself sort of I don't know, like with a goal in mind?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. Like the last couple of years, I've just been fighting and kind of not going through the motions, but it's just hard, you know. I'll just fight whoever's put in front of me. But like now, I've been given a new opportunity, obviously, to fight on one championships, and it's like a new lease of life. Like it's kind of like a new challenge, because obviously I'm fighting in them small MMA gloves now as well, and I was just like, oh, cool, like Thai boxing just with smaller gloves. And then I put them on and I trained in them, and I was like, oh my God, like this is mad. Like you're mad fast in them, and obviously you're hitting harder, but then you're like, oh bloody hell, like they're going to be hitting me harder.
Yeah.
Like it's just mad, and I think it's just exciting, and you know I kind of got a spring back in my step, and it's just something else to train harder for. And I always train hard anyway, but it definitely is a new goal. I've got something to aim for, and it's just exciting, really.
I mean, because you fought on some of the world's like best promotions and really exciting promotions that are doing really great things. Yeah. But I think that there's just something about one championship at the moment in terms of like their branding, the fighters that they're signing, you know, the way their shows are put out, the media, the build, everything about it is kind of like has turned them now into a goalpost for a lot of fighters. It's where a lot of even Thai boxers, you know, they don't care about the small gloves. They just want to be on that show because the benefits for you as a fighter and financially and for your career and your exposure, everything is just, it's just really fantastic.
They've kind of took it and then they've taken it to another level.
Yeah.
Obviously everyone wants to be part of that. And yeah, I'm just grateful that I get to be, you know, obviously I'm not saying I'm old, but you know, I've probably only got 3 or 4, I don't know, that's probably max years left. So to kind of be able to do that, and you know, I'm just going to go for that title and hold on to it until I'm done.
I think as well, you're one of those fighters that no one will begrudge you getting an opportunity like that. You know, there's certain fighters that some people kind of go, oh, he's after been given this opportunity so soon, he's not ready, he doesn't deserve it. I don't think anyone would ever say that about you, because you've put in like your entire life.
Yeah. Well, I hope not.
No, absolutely not. But do you ever soak in what other people, fighters, what they say about you? I remember having a conversation with Craig Coakley before, and he was like, we were talking about you, your fight style, and he was so funny. He just turned around and was like, I wouldn't fight her. Yeah. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, have you seen her fight?
Yeah. People are just so nice, you know. I don't know, it just makes you feel nice and warm here inside. Like, it's just really nice. And I just think the kind of environment I'm in, and the way I've been brought up and everything that I'm around, it never kind of goes to my head. And I understand, like, sometimes, you know, things like that can, but I just go all like a bit shy and like red, and I'm like, oh, stop it. Like, I really like being complimented as much as people do. Like, I find it hard to take it, but obviously it's always nice, and yeah, there's always nicer things being said than the opposite, which is lovely. Yeah.
Can you, this might sound like a strange question, but are you able to put into words where your aggression comes from in the ring? Because that's something that, like, a lot of people, it's your standout. It's how you're so aggressive, like in the most beautiful way, you know. Like, to watch, it's just like it's like an art form, you know what I mean? You've excelled at it so perfectly. And when you're in there and you're, you know, obviously you're competitive and you want to win and all that, but how do you switch on the aggression? Because we look at you now and you're so quiet and humble, and like it's a completely different, it's like an alter ego almost.
I think that is a bit what it is. When Beyonce says, when she's on stage, she's Sasha Fierce. I think
yes.
that's like, you'll see me before a fight and I'll just be so relaxed and chilled and like I'm not bothered. It's just kind of another day at the office, and I think that comes with experience as well. Obviously, I've been through the process. I've had 115 professional fights and obviously a lot more junior fights. So I've been through the process more than 200 times. And I just think it's confidence. I wouldn't say like I'm not an aggressive person in any aspect. And when I see violence and things like that, if I'm watching it on the telly or something like a video, like I hate things like that. And people are just always just so surprised. But I think that's what it's about. I see Muay Thai as a bit of an art rather than, I want to fight and violence. And I just love it. I love the technique, and I just love to kick as well. It's a bit weird. I was saying the other day in the gym, like, I prefer kicking rather than punching. Like, I find it so much easier. It's just so effortless just to kick, and people are like, you're so weird.
Yeah. Do you have a favourite win? I know you've already spoke about your proudest moment, but do you have a favourite win that kind of stands out in your mind?
I'm not sure. Just like maybe like last year I fought on my birthday, and that was in Australia, in Melbourne. I was fighting on my birthday, and it was just me and my dad, so obviously I was away from home, and it was my birthday, and it was just a really good win, yeah, and it just made me proud. No matter where you are in the world, like, Muay Thai gives you love, and these people that I don't know are all wishing me happy birthday, and they brought me cake.
Amazing.
But yeah, I think it's just, people make experiences, and the places that I've been and the people I've met, I can't even explain. It is mad. Yeah.
It really is. Like, and to get the opportunity, like you say, to be able to travel the world.
Yeah.
Like, it's the opportunities that have been given to you have been just so, like, you've created them for yourself, and your family have as well. Yeah. But it's just like amazing.
I've got a map. I don't know if you can see. So I've got a map for I can't even remember, but every time I go somewhere, I'll pin it.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Yeah, so you can't really see, but the white ones are fights, and then I've tried to pin the blue ones as seminars. So I've been to America 3 times, and I've been to Canada once. I've been to Spain over 4 or 5 times. All over Europe. I've been to China, Thailand. I don't know where that is. I've been to Australia 3 times, like the other side of the world. It's mad.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really, really special. Do you think about, because obviously you're talking, you spoke earlier on about, having a certain amount of time left, and arguably, I think you've a lot longer than 30. Look at Liam Harrison. He's like 58. Yeah. He's still fine.
I know.
But do you think about afterwards? Like, do you worry about what will happen afterwards? As in, for a lot of fighters, they are so sort of addicted to the buzz of training and fighting. Do you worry about afterwards?
Yeah, of course. Like, and that's why I've got my dad, because he'll be there to tell me enough is enough. And when he says enough is enough, it is. Like, there's no way I'm ever going to do anything without my family or my dad behind me. And I hate to admit it, but he is always right. So,
I mean, that was another question I wanted to ask you. Like, I mean, having to, like, sometimes our parents can be so, like, can just irritate us so much. You know what I mean? In the smallest thing. I know I'm speaking from personal experience here as well, What has it been like to I mean, your dad is your trainer, to have to work with someone so close?
It's hard work. It's such hard work. Because, I'll be with him in the morning, and obviously I'm so grateful for everything he's done. Like, I don't know why or how he does it. But I'm with him in the morning, training with him at 6 o'clock in the morning for an hour and a half. Like, it's mad. And then to be punched in the face at 7 in the morning, like, I'm not a fan. I wouldn't recommend it. Emotions are a bit high.
Yeah.
And then again in the evening, obviously it's my dad's job as well, and I'm there to train. So a lot of the time I'll be with him from like 5 o'clock till 9 o'clock in the gym, working with him as well, helping out with the kids. And so it's kind of like a family business, as well as training, as well as dad being my trainer. So it is hard work, and sometimes emotions run high, but there's more good times than bad. So that's why we're still here and we're both still alive and doing it.
Absolutely. And I imagine as well, I mean, just even this week, just from speaking to different fighters and about their careers and things, asking them things they regretted and would they go back and change stuff. And one of the most common things that I hear with a lot of fighters that are retired now is that the issues around like maybe trusting people or letting people into like their circles and making the right choices for their careers. And you have the luxury of, you're no one is going to protect you more in a ring sense, in a fight sense, or in a business sense as your dad, right?
Yeah. You don't realize how lucky you are. You see, I've never had to go anywhere else, and you see people kind of struggling to look for that relationship or to look for someone that they can trust, or a gym they can get on with, or somewhere that's gonna benefit them, rather than the opposite way. And that's where I've kind of obviously fell on my feet, and it's all around me. So yeah, I think it's not until you see kind of other people's perspective and what they have to deal with that you realise how lucky you are. I realise how lucky I am to have the gym in my garden, and my brother as a training partner, and my mum and dad who have done it before, and my dad is my coach and he's there watching what I eat. And sometimes it's annoying, but it's like a
sneaking a 6-pack of donuts up to your bedroom.
I always have a chocolate stash.
When you were growing up, obviously, like your mum obviously was a huge influence, I imagine, but who was there anyone else that influenced you, or where did you get inspiration from, or people you looked up to when you were growing up?
I think it was just the people around me. Obviously social media wasn't as big as it is now. So I still don't now really watch fights on YouTube or anything like that, because when I've got my own time, I take it and have my own time and try and forget about Thai boxing. But yeah, so I think just training with my mum and growing up and watching her, and I suppose I just kind of copied her really. And yeah, my whole family have been an inspiration. Obviously, my brother is always in the gym and always around and always a laugh. We'll have a session and someone will be poorly, someone will be at college late, someone will be working late, but there's always me and my brother.
Have you been offered, or has anyone ever asked you about the possibility of going into different areas of combat sports like boxing or MMA?
Yeah, always. I've had a couple of boxing fights. A few of my Thai boxing fights like fell through, or people have pulled out, and my dad's found like a last minute boxer. And I can't remember if I've had 2 or 3, but I've won all of them. But I don't think they were very good. So it's a bit hard. But for me, like, I don't know what it is. I just love to kick. Like, I'm not a massive fan of the boxing. Like, that's kind of like my weakness, and it's where I'm trying to improve it all the time. But it's probably my weakness because I know I don't enjoy it like in here.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then with MMA, like, it's good, but I don't know. I don't enjoy it like personally. When you're watching it, I think it's amazing. And the bit that is amazing is the stand-up, and it's just, non-stop. But if you think about it, that's Thai boxing.
Yes.
And when they go to the ground, that's a bit, I probably don't understand it, which is why I don't enjoy it as much. But yeah, I'm not in it. If I was in it for the money, I'd go straight to the MMA, but it's all about the love for me.
Yeah, it's funny because I think a lot of Muay Thai fighters are very much kind of split down the middle when it comes to like MMA and staying in Thai boxing. There's definitely, it's quite admirable because so many are actually quite loyal to the sport, or they just truly believe that it's the best art form that's out there,
Yeah,
It's really,
so
it's good to
Ryan.
see. But do you find yourself like, you know, I had Brad Pickett on last night and we were talking about while he was fighting, was he able to actually enjoy MMA? Was he able to like watch it as a fan? Because he was talking about now getting the opportunity to sit back on a Saturday night and watch fight nights and enjoy them.
Yeah.
And he was saying, you know, I just didn't have that. I wasn't able to do that when I was fighting. I just only wanted to focus on training myself. Would you be of the same opinion that, like, do you find it hard to be a fan of the sports even though you're kind of in it?
No,
I mean,
I
a
think,
fan as in like watching it, as in tuning
yeah,
into fight nights and different things.
yeah. I think if you're there live, like I love watching fights live, especially when it's going to be a really good fight. But the problem is, you know, obviously where I am, you have to travel not quite a bit, but maybe over an hour to go anywhere to watch fights. And I don't want to be spending the only time I have, you know, Saturday is the only day really I have to myself, traveling and watching these fights. I don't know, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
You need to be able to manage your time properly, but whenever I can, like, I love going to fight nights. You know,
I'm the exact same, and like, because
yeah.
like obviously we're doing these interviews now because we can't leave the house. But the weekly thing that I do is going to events, and when I'm during the week, if there's like fight nights on or something, I just find it very hard to like sit and enjoy as a fan because I'm just so used to the process of being a fighter. So it's really interesting, you know. You're like such a supporter of the sport, but
yeah. If any of my teammates are fighting, I'll always buy a ticket because I know that they've always bought a ticket when I've come to watch, and I want them to know how much I appreciate it, and you know, I will come and watch them and support them when I can. You know, sometimes I'm out the country or doing something, but yeah, I'll always try and support people when I can. I think it's important, you know.
What's been the biggest change that you've noticed in Muay Thai since you started?
The amount of women doing it now, like, it's crazy. I think it's so good. When I was younger, I kind of like ran out of girls to fight, so then I'd fight boys. And, you know, obviously at a certain age, I never batted an eyelid. I was like, so, it doesn't matter. But the amount of girls now competing is wicked. And then obviously using the power of social media as well, you can, you know, promote yourself in a certain way and create a certain following. And I think that's pretty cool as well. It's only recently I've actually started to, I always found it hard, and I'm a bit lazy as well, but, you know, to get sponsorship and stuff. Obviously it's hard to get any sort of cash out of a business. They'd rather give you products or whatnot, but being on an opportunity, obviously like one championships, it's gave me the confidence to say, look, I'm fighting on this promotion that has this many views or followers, and it goes around this many countries, and people are getting on board, and it's local people as well that have obviously followed my journey for a few years, and it's nice to finally get a bit of help. I mean, I work full-time anyway, which is mad.
I didn't know you work as well. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's a bit mad. I teach fitness and exercise to
fair play to you.
Yeah, to young kids that have been kind of kicked out of school. So we have like a place called the Mountain Learning Hub, and we do all kind of different qualifications. We have mechanics, construction, cooking, childcare, things like that. And I teach the exercise and fitness part of it. So it's kind of working with disengaged children and trying to get them engaged again. But I love my job. It gets me out the house as well and gives me like a bit of a break from the Thai boxing, even though I'm knackered.
Have you had, with work, have you had many kids that have crossed over that have been like, okay, I really enjoy what I'm doing here? I imagine you're showing them like little bits of Muay Thai.
Yeah, well, they prefer the boxing, to be fair. I think they just kind of relate to what they see on the telly and stuff. They prefer the boxing, and I always try and incorporate quick kick or but yeah, they love it. They kind of like to get in the gym and forget about, it's a place to kind of forget about everything else. I think that's what you know, you kind of forget, you know, you have all these things going on in your head, and then you go in the gym and you're too busy like concentrating on what you're doing, you know, punch, kick, knee, blah blah blah, whatever, trying not to get hit in the face, and you forgot about the argument you had earlier, or the thing that's annoying you from work. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the beauty of the sport or exercise in general.
Absolutely. Do you find, is there an added pressure knowing that you are kind of an idol for so many young girls? Like, do you feel a sort of responsibility?
Yeah, sometimes. I think I try and be sensible on, you know, stuff I upload, and as my mum says, my swear words and things like that, you know, just trying to be a role model in that way. I'd like to post more stuff on, you know, like my training and things like that. But sometimes I'm too busy training that, you know, filming stuff, we don't have time for that. But so when I do put a clip on and things like that, like, people do enjoy it, which is nice.
Absolutely. When you look, final question, because I've kept you long enough, but final question, when you do retire, whenever it does happen, and you look back on your career and your life, what would you want people to say about you?
I don't know. Just that she was amazing. You should watch her fights.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? I just want to obviously be remembered like in good ways, and people say good things about me. But yeah, I just want to be that kind of. I don't know. I suppose I'm not like the knockout person. I don't knock people out. I haven't got the mega knockout power, but I'd say like I have good technique, and that would be nice if I could be known for that. You know, beautiful and nice, elegant technique.
Amazing. Well, you've nailed it. You've nailed it. You're already there. But listen, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
No,
that was really great to speak to you. Yeah, it was really good. And I can't wait until this is all over and we'll finally get to like meet and do a proper interview, because it's a long time coming now.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait next time I come to Ireland. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully I'll be at one championship someday, so we can do an interview there.
No, that would be mega. Like, it's so hard. I've not had a fight since November. And obviously I was supposed to fight March the 20th. And, you know, now we're beginning of April, and I've had no fight.
I know. But listen, enjoy the time off. You deserve it.
Thank you. Well, it really hurt my knee. I was messing about on the yoga ball, and I fell flat like that with my knee like bent back. So I've been icing that for nearly a week now, which is
no way. Well, listen, it's the perfect time to get injured.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But listen, thanks so much again, man. I really appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you.
See you later. Yeah, you too. Bye, love. See you later.